when you talk about the imposition of high tariffs and pressures. The fact that ASEAN and China have remained each other's largest trading partners for many consecutive years reflects a structurally deep economic interdependence rather than a temporary spike. This is rooted in the following factors. First is the geographic proximity and supply chain logic. Southeast Asia lies directly along China's export routes, and many ASEAN economies participate in manufacturing supply chains that are integrated with China's downstream industries. Second is the complementary of economic structures. China's role as a large producer of intermediate and capital goods meshes with ASEAN economies that export both raw materials and assembled processed goods for global markets. The third factor is ASEAN's collective market scale. With over 700 million consumers, ASEAN offers China a significant export market and a strategic counterweight to Western markets amid geopolitical tensions. This long-term symbiosis explains sustained and trade growth beyond cyclical fluctuation. Main growth engines in the bilateral trade between China and ASEAN and economic interdependence includes the following. First is integrated production networks, and this basically includes electronics, machinery, and automobiles that span China and ASEAN. It's really integrated already. The second one is trade rules that cut cost, especially within the framework of RCEP and CAFTA into TIP 3.0. This lowers tariff and simplifies rules of origin. And the third factor is like market diversification, as both sides hedge against global and US-China political or geopolitical risk. And then the last growth engine is the sectoral diversification, or the sectoral length, from commodities and energy to electronics and booming digital trade. Now, what is the strategic meaning of this? Well, it means that ASEAN gains economic ballast and hedging space. China secures resilient regional market and production base amid Western uncertainty on the other hand. In terms of outlook, it is likely to remain strong, but durability will depend on moving up the value chain, narrowing imbalances, and avoiding geopolitical disruption that could derail the economy. Hence, the sustained status of ASEAN and China as each other's top trading partner is not accidental or temporary. It reflects deep structural integration, supportive policy framework, and strategic economic interdependence. The 9.6 growth in bilateral trade and the 16.6 share of China's total foreign trade are outcomes of robust supply chain linkages, institutional economic liberalization under RCEP and CAFTA 3.0, and mutual market complementaries. At the same time, future sustainability depends on addressing imbalances, strengthening value-added cooperation, and managing geopolitical risk. The task that requires not only economic policy alignment but also diplomatic agility.